Hi guys, the Conservatives created a massive problem when it came to asylum seekers, both through neglect and by design. Because the previous Tory government refused to process asylum claims, they allowed the backlog to grow, which meant fewer people could move on to refugee status and eventually work and rebuild their lives, and fewer people could be deported. This meant that asylum seekers who are not allowed to be part of society needed to be housed somewhere. The Tories chose to book up hotels. This was without the consultation of the local community, which Labour are now having to deal with. Sky News visited one town where 300 asylum seekers have arrived, and locals are angry, and I fear this could become a recruiting ground for Reform UK.
300 guys from a country which we know did not value women.
We don't know anything about them. We have no idea what they are capable of doing.
What happens when a hotel in a market town becomes a hostel for migrants? In Altrincham near Manchester, residents have just discovered that hotel bookings, meetings and even wedding receptions have been cancelled. And without warning to locals, 300 male asylum seekers have started to move in. So they've called a meeting in a nearby church with the local community police officer.
300 guys from a country which we know did not value women.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's the hard... No, I'm sorry. Is there going to be a curfew? Or are they just at 7 o'clock at night, just going to be able to wander around? Is my daughter going to be safe when she goes into Altrincham and has a few drinks? No, is the answer.
We can't lock people up who haven't committed any crimes. We cannot impose on them and restrict their movement if they haven't committed any crimes.
I just find it frankly unbelievable. There's a lollipop man on the doorstep because that's how close the primary is. There are 2 all-girls schools within 10-minute walk. They have to go past an at-risk area.
I can assure you we've had asylum seekers in Trafford for several years and there has been no spike in crime.
Are they really seriously on another planet?
There were concerns too about adding pressures on local GP services.
And they come in the country and get what I want.
Okay, as I said, this is going to be a breeding ground a recruitment ground for Reform UK. Fear is a very powerful drug, and people like Farage and Reform UK and the far right are ready to jump on issues like this because they know that the residents are afraid and they're able to exploit that fear. And it's very difficult for the police or for the government, the Labour government, to do anything about this, especially this fear. You can say, look, don't worry, it'll be okay, don't worry, it will be okay. But as soon as there's some incident, there will be a massive public backlash. Now, who is responsible for this? The Conservatives are responsible for this. They made an active decision. Robert Jenrick even said we're not going to process asylum claims because that creates a pull factor. So they have made an absolute disaster. The Labour government are, I believe, trying to process as many claims as possible. But they're going to struggle and they have to house people somewhere. And they've already said, look, we have to book up hotels because we have a massive backlog. It's going to take years to fix, to resolve, to reduce. And of course, I can guarantee you that people like Nigel Farage and Reform UK will go to these communities, interview these people, listen to their concerns and criticise the government for not, listening to them and say, don't worry, we are on your side. Vote for Reform UK at the local election and we'll close this down. Of course they won't. They have no intention of doing any of these things, but they will tap into this fear and they will exploit it. And the Labour government need to be prepared for that because the next general election is a number of years away. But there are local elections coming up and there are by-elections. And I can guarantee you, after what's happened with Donald Trump, Reform UK see a massive opportunity here. Tap into this fear, use immigration as a tool to get more and more power. exploit this fear, because they're not, remember, Reform UK are not interested in actually solutions. They're just interested in using problems to their own advantage. And I fear that if Labour are not able to do something about this, it will hand a victory over to someone like Nigel Farage. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.